Hi, I'm Tim. If you don't already follow me, I'm going to go through some of the pillars that I look for when targeting who I'm going to bet in fights. And at the end, I'm going to break down a fight on the upcoming card that kind of is a good example of everything I'm going to talk about. So, first of all, the first thing I look for when targeting a fighter is volume and pace. And most preferably, I look for volume wrestling. Somebody like Merab Dvalishvili, somebody like Anthony Hernandez, somebody that's going to attempt and land several takedowns. Like, I want attempts to at least be in the double digits for the most part. And if they can land double digit takedowns, that's even better. I still believe that uh, getting multiple takedowns, controlling where the fight happens, is more often than not the most dominant thing in MMA. But if you want to target a striker, if there's not a wrestler in the matchup, then I still look for volume and pace. Somebody like Max Holloway, somebody like Chiasson, somebody that lands a high number of strikes per minute. So along with volume and pace, we're looking for somebody that can go the distance. I like to see people with good records by decision. I don't like this. I don't like a lot of losses by decision. I really don't like fighters that never go to decision. Knockouts are overrated. Kind of on that same token, I look for fighters that have a process or a system. Like somebody that I know is going to stick to their game plan every time they go out there. I don't want somebody that sometimes lands a lot of takedowns or has a few fights where they landed over 100 significant strikes. I want to look most preferably at somebody that does the same thing every time, and I can count on them to do it again. And then lastly, it's cardio and durability. Those are two different things, but I kind of put them together. Like cardio, obviously, it's somebody that's going to be able to push the pace that we're talking about and sustain it over the length of a fight, which is another thing that we've talked about. And then durability is also going to affect if you can last the length of a fight. If it's somebody that gets finished too often lately, that's not a good sign, especially if it's people that are getting knocked out on a regular basis. Like, for example, I really like Cody Durden for his aggression, for his pace, and for his ability to land multiple takedowns. But Cody Durden has a problem getting knocked out in like the second or third round, and that makes him somebody not dependable to bet on. So the fight we're going to talk about that kind of meets all this criteria, and it's on the upcoming card, is Ailin Perez versus Macy Chiasson. Ailin Perez is somebody that lands a lot of takedowns. She lands 4.68 takedowns per 3 rounds. She's landed 2 takedowns in just about all of her fights. In one fight she landed 6, in one fight she landed 10. So these are numbers that we can count on, that we've seen happen repeatedly. Macy Chiasson is not somebody who gives up a lot of takedowns, but if you look at her fight history, she hasn't fought anybody that is going to attempt the number of takedowns that we could expect Ailin Perez to attempt. So as far as wrestling goes, it makes Ailin Perez a candidate that we want to look at. And if you look at the striking, their striking numbers are actually pretty even. They have it as Ailin Perez lands 3.1 significant strikes per minute, whereas Macy Chiasson lands about 3.5. And then in her last 2 fights, Macy Chiasson has lost 2 in a row, and she only landed 54 significant strikes and 22 significant strikes over 2 complete fights, 3 rounds. So she's also somebody with a 4-3 record by decision. And then Ailin Perez has a record 6-0 by decision. So if this fight extends, I think we can count on Ailin Perez to land takedowns and to outlast Macy Chiasson. So all of these things make Ailin Perez somebody I'm very interested in this upcoming card. Right now, on some books, you can get her for minus 165. I currently live in Orlando, Florida, where we only have one book, and she's currently minus 185 on the money line. I'm possibly going to take her money line. I might wait for it to move a little bit more in our favor. You could also look at her winning by decision or even submission, but I think I might look at the decision line myself. So I hope all that stuff makes sense to you guys, and if you're not following me yet, I hope that this gets you to be interested in following me. Please like this video and comment below any thoughts or questions that you have on this.